This is a video that will help you find the area of a circle. But before we do that, we first need to make sure we define the different parts of the circle. The first part we're going to look at is the area of a circle. Now the area, which is represented by a capital A, is a space inside of a circle, or the number of squares it takes to cover a circle. Here's a picture that represents the area of a circle. The radius, which is a lowercase r, is a distance from the center of the circle to the perimeter of a circle. Here's a picture that represents the radius of a circle. The last one we're going to look at is the diameter of a circle, and that's represented with a lowercase d. And that's going to be the distance across a circle through the center of a circle. Here's a picture that represents the diameter of a circle. Let's try and solve a couple problems. The first problem we're going to solve is one where I'm given the radius and I have to find the area of that circle. Now when I do that, I need to follow a few steps. The first step is I'm going to write the formula down, and that's going to be given to you in your MCA test. After I do that, I'm going to substitute the value of the radius in for r. In this picture, my radius is 5, so I'm going to substitute 5 in for r. Then I'm going to solve it. And lastly, I'm going to put the correct units on this. I want to know how many squares it's going to take to cover the circle. Let me show you how to do it. So the formula is going to be pi r squared. Area is equal to pi r squared. So I write that down. Next, I'm going to substitute 5, because that's the radius, in for r. So area is going to be equal to pi times 5 squared. I'm going to solve that, so I'm going to take 5 squared, because that's what I do first in order of operations. So I get area is equal to 25 pi. And now I'm going to use an approximation of pi. And we use 3.14 as an approximation for pi. 3.14 is not exactly pi, but it's really close. So I'm going to have the area is approximately 25 times 3.14. When I multiply 25 times 3.14, I get the area is approximately 78.5, and I want to know how many square inches it's going to take to cover this, so my units are inches squared. Let's look how I do this if I'm given the diameter. The steps are almost the same, but just a little bit of tweaking has to be done in order to do this problem. As you notice, the only tweaking I've done is I've added a step of finding the radius. Before I can substitute, I need to make sure I know what the radius is so I can substitute that into the equation. Let's see how it works. The first step is to write the equation down, and that's area is equal to pi r squared. Then it says find the radius. Well, if the diameter is 8 centimeters, then the radius has to be half that. I have to divide 8 in half, and I'm going to get radius is equal to diameter times the diameter divided by 2, which is 8 divided by 2, which is 4 centimeters. Now that I found the radius, I can substitute that in. So I get area is equal to pi times 4 squared. If I square 4, I get area is equal to 16 pi. And now I'm going to use my approximation for pi, which is 3.14. So the area is approximately 16 times 3.14. And when I multiply that out, my area is approximately 50.24. And I want to know how many square centimeters are going to cover this circle. So my units are centimeters squared.